African Chamber of Content Producers explores Mawuko CSA Award for African Opportunities. Is that a right move? Well, we'll be delving into the stories and also discussing why it is so important for such to be done. Also, the Academy, organizers of the Oscars, finally establishes a stunt category for their 100th Oscars event. Is it too late? Well, we'll be also delving into such stories and explaining why it is so important for the film industries to finally recognize stunts who are key persons or key people or partners to the audiovisual production of films. This and more is what we'll be exploring in this very 16th episode of the Film Mandate. I am Papa O2. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again to the Film Mandate. I am Papa O2. I hope you had a very lovely weekend, and I hope you watched some movies. Well, today we'll be talking more movies as usual as I bring to you news from both the African front and the international scenes. This very platform is meant for us to have a dialogue or conversations on both the film industry, and also everything that affects films. So I hope you are here with me to just engage in this dialogue. I'm really happy and excited to have you here. So, in our very first episode for this week, that is the 16th episode, we have an article published on Mawuko Kuadzi once again. If you remember the very first episode of the Film Mandate, I covered the Artios Award, which was won by Mawuko internationally for the category of casting for commercials. And that is what we are here again to talk about. Now, this article was published on 4th April. Yes, it's been a while, but I thought no, it's necessary to cover it because it's such a wonderful achievement by Mawuko in this very area of casting. So we'll be talking about it, and on your screen, that is Mawuko with a couple of the supporters who went with him to meet the Nigerian ambassador. So let's kindly give it a read and then we'll talk about it into details. So ACCP, so there's an article which was published in the Ghana News Agency website. Yeah. So ACCP engages Ethiopian, Burkina Faso, and Nigerian ambassadors to explore Mawuko's CSA award opportunities for Africa. Published on April 4th, 2025, GNA. So, in a display of Pan African unity and creative ambition, the African Chamber of Content Producers, ACCP, has embarked on a series of diplomatic engagements seeking to leverage Mawuko Kuadzi's historic Artios award win for the advancement of Africa's creative economy. Led by Executive Director Nana Jumo Doyen Benjamin, a delegation of prominent figures including veteran actors Fred Amugi, Maina Otu, Chris Atto, Peter Ritchie, film critic Tony Ansakuma, production coordinator Alex Barawusu, and MK Casting Executive Secretary Esther Kumewu conducted courtesy calls on the Ethiopian, Burkina Faso, and Nigerian embassies in Ghana. Mawuko Kuadzi's groundbreaking victory as the 2025 Artios Award winner in the commercial casting category, marking the first time an Africa has achieved this feat, served as the entry point for these vital discussions. The Artios Awards, presented by the Casting Society of America, are regarded within the global entertainment industry, recognizing excellence in casting. Mawuko Kuadzi's win signified not only his individual talent, but also the rising prominence of African creatives on the international stage, breaking barriers and demonstrating that African talents can compete and excel at the highest levels. This achievement highlights the immense potential of Africa's creative industry and provides a powerful platform to project a positive image of the continent through diverse content forms. At the Ethiopian embassy, the team was received by Ambassador Aseye Alemayo, acting head of mission for the Ethiopian High Commission, and the minister counselor of the mission, Agiezi Brian. Pardon me. So in your short, yeah, you see the team, the delegation, which involves Tony Ansakuma, the actors, Mina Otu, Fred Amugi, and then Chris Arthur, together with other actors, supporters, delegation for the industry. Yeah, so I continue. Yeah, so Ambassador Asai expressed enthusiasm for the achievement and initiative, highlighting Ethiopia's commitment to cultural exchange and development, citing Dying for Generation tourism initiative, which promotes Ethiopian tourism and culture as a potential area for collaboration. Ambassador Aseye promoted intra-African trade after the team and emphasized Ethiopia's strategic position as the host of the African Union headquarters, making it a pivotal partner in fostering a Pan-African creative economy. He invited the team to visit Ethiopia and enjoy the beauty of the country as they embark on the important mission of changing the negative stereotypes of Africa and uniting as a continent to develop various sectors for growth. The delegation then proceeded to Burkina Faso embassy where they met Ambassador David Cabre, ambassador of Burkina Faso to Ghana, Bain Dabere, first counselor of the Burkina Faso High Commission in Ghana, and the administrative bilingual assistant, Madame Regina Afola. So there in your shot, that is in the picture above, is the Burkina Faso ambassador, and then the delegation meeting the ambassador. Yeah. So Ambassador Kabri congratulated the team on Mawuko Kuadzi's achievements and reiterated Burkina Faso's dedication to promoting African culture. He referenced events like FESPACO, Pan-African Film and Television Festival of Ouagadougou, as key platforms for showcasing African creativity and pledged the embassy's support in realizing the ACCP's vision. The team discussed partnership with the African Progressive Research and Innovations, April STEM, a partner organization to assist the educational support and pedagogy enhancements for Burkina Faso. The Ambassador Cabre applauded the team for tackling other aspects of African development, such as education, and pledged to facilitate engagements with the Burkina Faso government for mutual collaboration in the coming months. The final destination was the Nigerian Commission, where the team had discussions with Ambassador Dayo Adioye, acting ambassador of the Nigeria High Commission, Ure Obua Inwosa, First Secretary, Economic and Education, Abdul Malik Hassan, Counselor, and Sharifa Lawal, Finance Attaché. Ambassador Dayo expressed admiration for the delegation's mission and affirmed Nigeria's commitment to supporting African creatives. He highlighted Nigerians' significant contributions to the global music and film industries, pledging to partner with the ACCP to elevate African content on an international stage, and congratulated the team for winning a prestigious honor for Africa and encouraged them to aim for more of such wins and not to be complacent with such an accomplishment. Ambassador Dayo mentioned the need to highlight the success stories of Africa as a united continent to override the persistent few negative stories which had dominated the narratives of the continent. During the engagements, the ACCP team unveiled the ambitious plans to produce their first Pan-African feature film in Uganda, a project that will feature talent and collaboration from across the continent. This film, born from the African Monologue Challenge, is being developed under the auspices of the Office of the President of Uganda, the Uganda Communications Commission, governments of about 10 African countries, and the Pan-Africa Women's Organization, PAO. The team revealed that ongoing consultations with stakeholders across Africa were underway with the aim of using the film as the inaugural project for the Pan-African creative economy they are envisioning. Mawuko Kuadzi formally presented his Artios Award trophy to the ambassadors, symbolizing that the win was a collective achievement for the entire continent, African continent. The gesture, coupled with announcement of the Pan-African Film Project, underscore the ACCP's mission to harness this success to foster a thriving and unified African creative economy. Nana Jumo Doyen Benjamin articulated a vision of establishing a unified creative front for Africa, capable of shaping global narratives and showcasing the continent's rich cultural heritage. This win is not just for Mawuko, it is for every African creative, he stated. We are here to build bridges and forge partnerships that will elevate our stories and our talents on the world stage. This film in Uganda is the first of many steps towards that vision. The ACCP delegation is scheduled to continue its diplomatic engagements with other embassies in Ghana, cement their commitment to promoting African content and branding the continent positively through diverse creative mediums. It marks a significant step towards realizing a unified and powerful African creative economy with the Artios award win serving as a powerful catalyst. So this indeed is a great win for Africa, and an article published in the Ghana News Agency. So yeah, there you have it. So yeah, it is really a big news that can't be kept under the carpet. I know it's been a while since it came out, but hey, better late than never. So just as I've been drumming the sound of African collaboration or unity, I'm glad that this group, ACCP, have taken the initiative together with Mawuko Kuadzi and a delegation of actors from Ghana to really engage ambassadors from other countries as well. Because this win can't be just an award kept on a shelf. The win indeed must be explored for a greater purpose. And I'm glad that this conversation has already been ongoing. Listen, these wins don't often come to Africa. I must say, yes, there's been so many other wins in various categories. More so, there's been nominations in other, I would say, award schemes and events, but none has really been such prominent as this Artios Award, especially recognizing the fact that it's been 40 years in existence and Africa has finally won one. I don't even know whether Africa was even ever nominated in any of the years that followed. So it is really a big win, and I'm glad about the fact that all these ambassadors are drumming the same sound of African creative economy. Because just as I've stressed on, if you look at our market, let's even talk about the film market, you realize that we don't even have enough leverage to be able to have discussions with the other film industries from all over the world. So the best is to have a unified market, just as we have Pan Africa, or what we have this African blocks, ECOWAS and AU. There is the need to really consider same for the film market, because our market individually is not good enough to be able to have investors pay attention to what we are doing here in Africa. So I'm glad that this opportunity has presented itself and been pioneered by the ACCP and the stakeholders involved to ensure that we explore the opportunity given us through the win of Mawuko Kuadzi's effort in casting. So I'm really excited about this effort, and I pray that they would even visit more ambassadors just to explore more opportunities. As a matter of fact, this film is good. The film that they are working on to be produced in Uganda is excellent. I'm hoping that other African nations would also open their doors to bring them in to see how best that such films can be produced. And I'm even looking at an opportunity where the films will involve a lot of countries. I mean, a Pan African country, just as they are doing with this Ugandan project. So kudos to ACCP and Mawuko and all the things they are doing for Africa. I pray that as they do this, more attention will be paid to the continent of Africa and see the diverse talents that exist, not just in the area of casting, but in terms of the both on screen and behind the screen. There are so much talent in this continent. If you can recall, the Beast of No Nation open put much attention to what was happening in Africa. And I'm so glad that Idris Elba is a player in the whole creative economy, as we can find it, that he's pioneering the effort in building an ultra modern Hollywood standard sound stage in Ghana and also other parts of the country, or sorry, the continent. So it is indeed great news to be hearing that this is what is being done. And I'm glad that all the ambassadors have recognized that, yes, indeed, this win is good for Africa, not individual countries, but good for Africa. And I'm really excited, particularly with the fact that some of the ambassadors, I think Ambassador Dayo of Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, stressed on the fact that we need to have an African creative economy. The continent is so big for us to explore the opportunities it presents to us as a people. And it's about time. I just hope it's not just merely words. My hope is that both the Ghana government and all other African governments will pay attention to this aspect. Listen, I talked about an article in one of the episodes where the projections for the film industry to make, or the creative industry to make, in terms of revenues, is over $30 billion. Over $30 billion. The question I've been asking is that, where is Africa's stake in this? We do not know. We can't even quantify exactly how much we make in a year. And this is an opportunity for us to take a critical look at that and put the necessary infrastructure in place, and then the policies to support what is happening, but not forgetting the collection of data to prove the point that now Africa is heading towards a very positive direction. So indeed, I'm really excited about this development and looking forward to the stakeholders involved to achieve tremendous success that cannot be ignored by the world. So yeah, this is really a wonderful achievement, and this is indeed a great win for Africa as a whole. So yeah, this is my first story for the day, and just as we've been talking about acting, now do you know that in this year the Oscars would be presenting, or has established a category for casting as well in the Oscars. This the 98 Oscars, which will be organized in this year. So it is really good news all over, and it's actually timely. And we are hoping that just as Mawuko has won an award in this category for Africa with regards to the CSA, that's the Casting Society of America, their own award event, we are hoping that Mawuko and other players will be nominated for this category come the award season for next year, the 2025 one, which will be organized for next year. We pray that they also chalk a success in this very area as well. So, but then this category, there's an article published in the Hollywood Reporter, which spoke about a brand new category, not just for casting, but a brand new category which have been established in the 100th event that will be organized about 2-3 years away. and it's worth talking about. So this is an article published in the Hollywood Reporter on April 10th, and it talks about Oscars Film Academy establishes Stunt Design Award. So I read, the award will be presented beginning at the 100th Oscars, which will recognize films released in 2027 by Scott Feinberg. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has announced the establishment of a Stunt Design Oscar, which will first be presented at the 100th Academy Awards. The Oscar will honor films released in 2027 at the 2028 award ceremony. Since the early days of cinema, stunt design has been an integral part of filmmaking. Academy CEO Bill Kramer and President Janet Young said in a statement, "We are proud to honor the innovative work of these technical and creative artists, and we congratulate them for their commitment and dedication in reaching this momentous occasion." Category rules for eligibility and voting for the inaugural award will be announced in 2027 as part of the 100th Academy Awards rules. The specifics of the awards presentation, such as whether or not there will be nominees or just a winner announced, will be determined by the Academy's Board of Governors and executive leadership at a future date. To date, only two stunt performers have been awarded Oscar statuettes, both honorary awards, Yakima Kanut in 1966 and Hal Needham in 2012. There are now more than 100 stunt professionals who are currently members of the Academy's production and technology branch. Most were invited to join the organization in recent years as momentum grew to recognize their sector of the business. The push within the Academy for a stunt design Oscar was led by a stunt performer turned director producer David Leitch, who not coincidentally helmed the stunt-centric 2024 film The Fall Guy, which starred Ryan Gosling and many stunt performers, and stunts coordinator and designer Chris O'Hara of Stunts Unlimited. Leitch and O'Hara both made presentations to the Academy's Board of Governors. Leitch said in a statement, "Stunts are essential to every genre of film and rooted deep in our industry's history, from the groundbreaking work of early pioneers like Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, and Charlie Chaplin, to the inspiring artistry of today's stunt designers, coordinators, and performers and choreographers. This has been a long journey for so many of us. Chris O'Hara and I have spent years working to bring this moment to life, standing on the shoulders of the stunt professionals who've fought tirelessly for recognition over the decades. We are incredibly grateful. Thank you, Academy." The last new award category created by the Academy was Achievement in Casting. That award was established in 2024 and will be presented for the first time at or ahead of the 98th Academy Awards, recognizing films released in 2025 at the 2026 Academy Awards ceremony. So, well, good news all around. Me starting from Mawuko's win, there's now going to be an Academy Award segment or category for the casting, and I'm so excited with the hope that yes, Mawuko would win someday soon in this casting category as well. So yeah, kudos to the Oscars for really considering a new category for stunt performers. Listen, most films made, especially from Hollywood and other big film industries from the West and East, have a lot of performers whose face are not shown on screen. But behind the scenes, they do most of the heavy work that most actors perceivably on screen actually do. So for some of the stunt actions that we see actors doing, more often than not, it's being done by stunts. It's been done by stunts. And I think this recognition, yes, I would say perhaps it's been long in coming, but it's still never too, it's still not late for it to have been recognized that it is a necessary category that ought to be part of the Oscars. And I'm excited that filmmakers, I mean, Stunts guy, now filmmakers, David Leitch and Chris O'Hara of Stunts Unlimited have pioneered and ensured that this indeed is part of the Oscars. Listen, you watch a lot of films from the Jackie Chans to the Tom Cruises who are actually actors and then do their own stunts. It's amazing the things they do. The Jason Statham, but all these things, I'm glad was at least, even though this have been late in coming, the actors or stunts performers back in the days in the 1966, that is Buster Keaton. I'm glad he was indeed given an honorary Oscar for his contribution to filmmaking in the area of stunts, because some of the feats couldn't have been achieved by technology as we see today in terms of visual effects, CGI, and then what we call AI as we find it today. But the key takeaway is that even if you want to achieve some of these things by CGI, most often it doesn't come out well the way, I mean, for those who have the technical eye, they could easily tell when this is actually CGI compared to an actor or a stunt performer executing it in person on location. So yes, it's indeed very good that they are finally given this opportunity for stunt performers. They've been doing so great a work, especially when you consider the fact that when stunt performers perform some of these dangerous acts, they actually get hurt. An example is Tom Cruise in one of the Mission Impossible films that he was filming. He was jumping from one building to the other and ended up breaking his feet. That derailed the production for some time because he needed to recover. And same can be said of Jackie Chan's production. Most often he gets hurt, and some of the stunts he does, it's not that he other stuntsmen can't do it, but we all know Jackie Chan. He wants to do his own stunts, and most often he gets hurt in the process, which always derails the production. And some stuntsmen have died in trying to make sure that we are entertained. So I'm glad that they are being honored this time around by one of the biggest events in film. I mean, film in the film industry, one of the biggest events. Oscars is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, events in film in the film industry. So I'm excited that this has been established, and even for our own industry, we had an issue where I think in the 90s, one actor had to jump from the Accra International Conference Center, the building, onto, I think, a balloon, just to break his fall. Unfortunately, the calculation, I'm not sure as to what happened, but the calculation didn't go right. Where when he jumped onto the what was supposed to break his fall, he bounced off that balloon and fell to the ground, breaking his leg. So it's something that ought to really be discussed, because in our part of the world, most of our films doesn't involve a lot of these stunts work. But yeah, I mean, I would say high stakes stunt work, because every film we do now actually involves some form of stunts being performed by actors themselves. Hopefully, this may even be an opportunity for us as Africans to carefully take a look at bringing on board stunt people who can help us achieve things that ordinarily the actor may not be perfect for. Let me put it that way. I know in South Africa, there's a stunt team for their film industry. I don't know about other parts of Africa. So, yes, this indeed is good for the entire world, if I should put it that way. I don't know whether other award schemes also have such stunt category or stunt design award for them. But yes, it's really good and exciting for the times we find ourselves in, especially when these stunt categories and casting is being recognized. And I'm excited because a lot of the work are done by people who are not seen on screen visibly, but who takes actually time to sit down and watch the entire credits being rolled. Most often, nobody does. Nobody does. So it is indeed exciting that finally stunts people, stunts guys and women are being recognized or will be recognized in the 100th one. And for this coming 28, or sorry, the 98th Oscars event would also recognize the category for casting directors. And indeed, it's a big feather in the cap of the Oscars or the Academy for doing such a thing. So yeah, I'm so excited, and I hope you're excited too. So listen, I'd like you to leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know your opinion about this concerning what the Oscars have done, and also concerning what the Mawuko and his team are doing to bring about a united African front with regards to the creative industry. So this has been the my stories for this 16th episode of the Film Mandate. I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll be seeing you tomorrow once again for another episode of the Film Mandate. I am Papa O2, and thank you for joining me.